Hey everyone, I'm here today with Jeffrey Ho.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Jeffrey went to college, got a great job, and was totally miserable. So Jeffrey started a drop shipping business on the side. And within a year, Jeffrey was able to quit his full-time job and work on his drop shipping business full time. Today, Jeffrey's going to share 5 products that he recommends new dropshippers start selling now. And along the way, Jeffrey will show us exactly how he reaches out to influencers, finds products, and builds a brand that lasts. This is a conversation you're not going to want to miss. So Jeffrey, thank you for being with us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Like I said in the intro, you had a great job. You were working full time. Why get into dropshipping then?
Essentially, what I felt like was I didn't feel like I was getting paid enough, or I could have utilized my skills more. And so as a part-time on the side, I would also, actually ran a store as well. So I could kind of supplement my income and, do things that I enjoy doing, because I have that, financial freedom to do so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many hours a week were you putting towards your store while you were working?
In the beginning, I would say I treated it as almost it was a full-time, job, because it does take a lot of effort and energy to run a store, and there is actually a huge learning curve for that. So I would say the first few months, I would put at least 30 hours a week. So almost just like how much you would spend on a full-time job. And I think that's expected considering the amount of things you need to learn and, simultaneously juggling around, everything from product research to learning how to build a store to, running ads as well. So
was that store that you were spending that amount of time building the store that ended up making you enough money so that you could quit your job?
Yeah, actually, this was actually my first store.
Wow, that's unusual.
Yeah. The store itself is actually the same, but what actually happened was I actually switched niches several times within the same store. So it was essentially making several stores, but then it was under the same name. So I've just been sticking with the same store and since day one.
So what niche did you ultimately land on?
I was initially in men's fashion because that was what I'm most passionate about, and then I transitioned to women's accessories, and then now more broadly to women's fashion.
Are your sales then from influencers, or are you running Facebook ads? Where are you getting your traffic?
So in terms of traffic, I used to start off with Instagram influencers. That was where I got most of the traction. And then later on, I did shift more of my focus to Facebook ads. And just because of the nature of the platform, how it's very scalable, and you can reach a lot of different people as well, and how because Facebook is actually one of the most powerful platforms for advertisements, if you don't already know, and actually includes Instagram as well. So then Facebook ads is a good platform for you to scale your business, and the sky is really limitless. It's really the limit if you have a product that a lot of people want.
Yeah, totally. Can you share some revenue numbers with us? The store that you've been growing since 2017.
Yeah, of course. In the first few months, there wasn't much progress. We're just looking at around a few $1,000s for the first half a year or so, and then since I swapped, I transitioned to women's accessories and sunglasses. During the time when one of your colleagues did a article about me, that was when I did about 58,000 to 60,000. That was in a matter of a year or so, half a year to 1 year. And then since then, I've actually grown my revenue numbers to about 3 times as much. So
Wow.
now we're sitting at about 200,000.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah.
What does it feel like to be running your own business at 23 years old?
It's empowering, but at the same time, it's also very stressful because you are essentially the owner of the company or the store or whatever you want to call it, of the business. And so there are a lot of things that you have to take care of, not just running Facebook ads. You are running a business at the end of the day, and that includes micromanaging certain people who are there to help you out. So let's say if you have some virtual assistants to help you, actually have to communicate with them. You have to communicate with your supplier. You have to make sure the whole process is smooth and efficient. You have to find products yourself. So it's not just about finding a product and advertising. It's actually a lot more to that. So it's empowering, but at the same time, it could get stressful at times.
So for those viewers who are just starting out, enjoy these challenges while they last, because there are new challenges as you scale.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, what I want to do today is really pick your brain, because all of the experience that you have dropshipping has made you an expert and someone who can really help new dropshippers find great products to sell so that they can try to replicate your success. So shall we get started?
Yeah, let's go.
Let's do product number 1.
Sure.
Okay, product number 1 we're looking at right now on Aliexpress, and it is a infuser water bottle. And I'm actually going to play devil's advocate right away, because we had Andreas and Alexander tell us that this was a trending product as well, and you're recommending it too. What is your reasoning?
Well, the reasoning is mainly because, just because it's been selling well and it has a lot of orders does not mean that it is saturated per se and that you can't make any sales anymore. Just because you have that one product and, a lot of people are doing it as well, there's actually a lot of options in terms of targeting and how you try to position your product as well. Also depends on your store you're running as well. And you could be running a general store selling this item. You could be running a niche store selling this item. Like for example, in the outdoor niche, you can still be selling the same product. And on top of that, it seems like a product that has really good quality and good build. And so there's actually a lot of potential for branding, in my opinion. And you could be selling the same product at the end of the day, but if you're the one who can actually brand it really well and try to make it a store that's trustworthy and credible, and that can really help you demand a higher price and therefore a higher margin per item. So this is why I would consider it, despite it being recommended before.
Now, talking about margins, it goes for about $5. And let's see, if we change shipping options to e-packet, it's about $1.30. So
yeah.
How would you price something like this so you have the margins you need to cover advertising costs?
So usually what I would follow is the 3x rule, what I like to call it, which means basically you're charging 3 times higher than the amount of the price that you're sourcing it at. So for example, in this case, if we're doing a $5 item, we would retail it for at least $15. Now in this case, since the item itself looks pretty high quality and the ratings are actually pretty good, we're looking at a 4.8 rating on average out of 2,000 something votes. That means that the quality is pretty good actually, and it's a very credible and reliable supplier. And on top of that, coupled with good quality and good build of a product, you can actually charge upwards of $25 and potentially even high 30s as well. It really depends on how you present the product and how you position it in your marketing.
Speaking of that, I know when Andreas and Alexander were recommending this product in their video, they had made a Facebook ad for the water bottle, and they ran the Facebook ad targeting people who are interested in health. But you started your store with Instagram influencers, right?
That's correct.
I have an idea. What if we tried to reach out to an Instagram influencer right now?
Sure.
Okay.
Sounds good.
I happen to be running a dropshipping store for fun that sells reusable straws. And I feel like maybe if someone is interested in reusable straws, maybe they're also interested in reusable water bottles because they both have a low impact on the environment. Is that an okay place to start?
Yeah, that sounds reasonable.
Okay, so let me grab my phone and let's find some influencers and just send them a first message.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, so here's my store called Keychain Straws. First thing I need to do, I guess, is look for influencers. As you can see, I don't have a lot of followers. Will that hurt me that I'm just starting out?
It would definitely help to have a lot of followers, but it's not a must. As long as you tell them that you're just starting out and you're looking to partner up with some people to get your brand out there, it wouldn't be detrimental, and it's a possible solution.
Oh, good. Okay, so I now want to find influencers. What's the first step to doing that? Would I search?
Yeah, so I would go to search,
okay.
And then I would actually find people with hashtags. As you know, on Instagram, hashtag is a very popular tool that people use to find not only products but also people and celebrities. So I would start off with hashtags, and then we would type something related to this infuser water bottle, like outdoor or like fitness or
what about
healthier lifestyle.
Yeah, what about Since my store is reusable straws, what about like zero plastic?
Yeah, zero plastic is good too.
Do you think these are actually zero plastic?
We would have to look into detail.
We'd have to look.
I'm not too sure.
Or reduce plastic.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll click zero plastic. Now what am I looking for?
So we want to be looking at, different kind of posts with the people in them, of course.
Yeah, this girl Sedona Christina seems to
Yeah.
post quite a few things.
Yeah, so this is actually a perfect example. You're actually really lucky today because this girl right here, Christy, she's an advocate of veganism, wellness, zero waste. So this is actually perfect for Jessica's store because it revolves around the same theme.
Ooh, okay. What do I do now though? Follow?
So what you would do is you would just contact them by sending them a message right here. You just send a message.
Okay.
But on top of that, I would actually recommend sending them an email instead, because if you have that amount of followers, chances are that a lot of other people are sending them direct messages as well.
I see.
So what's going to differentiate yourself is you sending them a personal email to make it more professional and to increase the chances of them seeing your message.
Okay, then I'll follow her and then I'm going to go ahead and copy her email address. What should my subject line be?
We'd love to do a collaboration with you with, like include the name of your store and then something around, along those lines, like some kind of collaboration, partnership, and or like an opportunity. You can use these buzzwords as well.
Ah, okay. Hello, Christina. This is Jessica from Keychain Straws, period. We sell reusable straws and we are starting to sell reusable water bottles, period.
You could say something about their channel or their page, like, we really like your content. We really like how your lifestyle and how you're an advocate for zero waste, recycling and all that.
So kind of linking her content with what I'm doing.
Exactly.
Okay, let me take a note of that. We really like how you advocate for a zero waste lifestyle, period. Okay.
Yeah, and then you can say something like, we'd be honored to feature you in one of our videos or whatever, and then that way you can actually send them the product, and then you can use original content with them in the video. So first of all, they can use that video that they made with the free item that you gave them, and second of all, you can use the content for marketing as well.
So am I only asking for content, or am I also trying to get them to share like a discount code or something?
Discount code is also a option. I would actually recommend also to give a discount code if you want.
Okay.
But sometimes if you have a smaller following, it might not be as impactful as a bigger one. But you can still share it just for the sake of it, in case other people who are following her can also buy one at a discounted cost.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask her if we can send a free water bottle, and if in return she can create a video using it.
Exactly.
And send it back to us.
Exactly. Is that the discount code should be later on, in my opinion, because you don't want to come off as someone who's just trying to promote this item in their page, but you really want to care for their followers and appreciate what they're actually believing in, which is zero waste and recycling. So you can actually casually put on that discount code later on once you receive it, but it shouldn't be your main priority, in my opinion.
So maybe in this first email, I don't mention that. I just ask if I can send her a free product.
Exactly.
Okay, great.
We don't want to kind of overwhelm this influencer.
Okay, let me try. We would love to send you a free water bottle, period. If you love it and you take a video with it, please send that video our way, period. We'd be happy to tag you in an Instagram post, period. Was that awful?
It's good.
That'll work?
Yeah, I mean, it was not bad for the first try.
Okay, that's what we're going for. You dropped a lot of really helpful hints though about working with Instagram influencers. And why is it that you recommend influencers as a way to start marketing? It's
good for, first of all, brand awareness. As well, it's going to drive a lot of organic traffic to your page. And even though, the statistics and analysis is going to be less detailed compared to something like Facebook ads, you're still going to get a lot of organic traffic to your website and make people aware more of your brand, and that's especially important if you're just starting off and you don't have much following on your page.
That makes a lot of sense. Really cool. So we had a product that we've seen on this show before, but we found a whole new audience with it using Instagram influencers. I love it. Okay, let's move on to product number 2. Okay, Jeff, now we're looking at product number 2, and this is, it looks like a dog carrier that you can attach to your back seat. What's interesting about this is Andreas and Alexander, who I just mentioned, they actually had a pet drop shipping store, so they were in a niche. And I can see this being a product that they might sell, but one question that I hear a lot is, should dropshippers get started with a niche store or a general store? You have a niche store, so I'm assuming
Correct.
Niche is how you would recommend dropshippers get started.
To be honest, I would actually suggest a general store, contrary to what people think. It's been a topic that's been discussed very heavily in the dropshipping and e-commerce space. But the reason why I recommend general stores is because the sky is really the limit when it comes to testing products, and you're not really restricted to a certain category. So for example, if you're testing a product that's related to pet and it doesn't work out, and then next you find a product that's related to outdoors, you can actually test without having to worry about consistency in your store. And so what I always recommend is, once you found a winning product from a general store, you can actually make another store that's actually niche. So you would consider that general store as a test store to find different products. And so that is when you're going to branch out to an actually branded store and then really take off that product from there.
Why do you think this would be a potentially winning product in a general store?
Well, the reason why I think this is because it's very unique, first of all. For dropshipping in particular, you want to find products that are unique in some way, and preferably something that solves a problem. I think this is very important for beginners because it's easier to market on Facebook and Instagram and makes people want to buy it more, especially impulsively. Now, for this particular product, I would say it's a problem-solving product because people who actually own pets, and especially dogs, when they try to bring them around, they actually can shed a lot of fur. So by having this particular item, they can actually prevent, first of all, the fur from going around the car, and second of all, because they can keep the dog safe. They won't be moving around, and they might fall down from the seat or whatever. So it's just going to be keeping their dog more safe and keeping your car cleaner. So you can hit essentially 2 birds with 1 stone.
And I know that when you're running a niche or a general store, the product page is so important. So the problems that you were just talking about and the solutions that this product provides, is that something that you would include in both the advertisement and the product page?
Yeah, the product page should actually be like an extension of what you're explaining on the advertisement. So the advertisement, you should always position in a way that you would tell people the benefits of the product, how it would solve them, the problem that they have, or make life easier in some way. And then the product page is typically going to be an extension of what you just mentioned in the ad copy or the ad itself. Now, usually for things like this, it does require some form of explanation. So it's better to go into more detail on the benefits of this mat and highlight the benefits mainly, and let people know how it works and what it does.
This is a kind of expensive product because it's around $20. Do you think dropshippers, especially new dropshippers, can actually make money selling something that costs so much to buy from the supplier?
It is going to be hard, but since a lot of vendors offer similar items on Aliexpress, you can actually find other vendors that are selling the same product and potentially maybe even at a lower price. But if that doesn't work, you can still try and work around it. For products, typically when you sell retail, I would suggest at least a $20 margin if you're doing Facebook ads. So if you're able to squeeze that in and sell this for about $39 or so, then it is a possibility for you to try it out.
Earlier you said you priced products with a 3 times margin.
That's correct.
And now you said you try to have a $20 margin for Facebook ads. So is it do you go for the price that's the lesser of those 2 numbers, either 3 times the cost or cost plus 20?
Usually, if you're sourcing the product for $15 or less, there usually is at least a $20 margin to work with.
Okay.
So for example, if you're doing a $15 product and you're selling it for $45, you already have a $30 margin. So it still applies either way.
Okay. But in a case like this, instead of
yeah.
selling it for 60, you would sell it for the lesser.
Yeah, in this case, because it is above a $15, it is more than $15 for the product. I would look at a $20 margin instead, because if you sell it for $60, it might be a bit too much for an impulse purchase. Either way, it's good to be looking at a $20 at least for profit margin.
Really cool. Okay, once you've set the price and you're ready to create your ads, how do you target them so that you're not wasting any of that precious slim margin on going after the wrong audience?
Yeah, that's a good question. What I typically like to do is target competitors and brands.
Oh.
Brands, competitors, magazines, people who are influencers within the space. So for example, you can target different stores like PetSmart. Unfortunately, I don't know much about pets and dogs, but you can target things like PetSmart for brands and competitors, and you can do like...
Wait a second, can you actually show us on Facebook Audience Insights how you would come up with these targets?
Yes, of course.
Let's go in. Okay, so we've got a blank slate. We're here in Facebook Audience Insights. We want to sell this product that keeps back seats clean when they're carrying their dogs around. How do we find our target audience?
So what we're going to do first of all is we're going to go to the interest right here. And then let's say you've done your research and you found a brand or like a competitor's name. So for example, we're going to use PetSmart example. We're going to type in PetSmart right here. So you can see that we have some results that are populating. And then you have all this information, very valuable information in terms of who's going to buy it and what age and what gender is going to be most interested in this product. And you even have things like education level and relationship status, which is not as important, but it could be insightful. You have job titles, but what we're looking at is the page likes right here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and down here, this is where we're going to look at similar audiences and audiences that are similar to the kind of audience that we're just typing in. As you can see here, you can see page likes. You see a bunch of different audiences that are going to be similar to the audience that we just keyed in. And what we're really looking for is, first of all, the relevance and then the affinity. So affinity basically means the similarity between that particular audience, so PetSmart, and the other one that we're looking at. So right now, obviously, it's going to be a high affinity score for PetSmart because you're comparing PetSmart with PetSmart. It's supposed to be that way. But as you can see, in the second row, you can see Chewy.com. So this is something that you can actually check out as well. And the affinity score is actually pretty high. So if you really run out of different interests to target or run out of ideas, you can actually go to Audience Insights, and then you're going to go to Page Likes, and then you're going to look down at this list and see what you can use for targeting as well.
When you're looking at the affinity score, is there a certain number that you're looking for as a minimum?
I would do anything above 50.
Anything above 50?
50x is a good point.
And then when you're creating your audience for your ads, you're narrowing the audience so that they like one of these brands. Maybe
Exactly.
PetSmart for one ad set, Chewy.com for another.
Exactly. What I like to do also for targeting specifically is to also only include one interest, so that you actually know for sure that that pocket of people is interested in your product that you have to offer. I'm not saying that stacking interest doesn't work, but it would be harder to kind of isolate which specific audience is working well for that particular product.
That makes sense. Really cool. Well, now that we know how to target our ads a little better, let's move on to product number 3.
Sounds good.
So I have to say, Jeffrey, you are all over the map when it comes to niches. We had a water bottle, we made a pet carrier, and now we're in the baby niche, looking at what is a outdoor swimming pool for toddlers. Can you explain this to us?
That's correct. So basically, it's kind of like a mini pool for babies. This is typically used on, like the beaches and the swimming pools. So it's kind of like a private pool for babies in particular. And you can really allow babies to use this without having them, get harm from the sun or like sunlight and things like that. So it'll be really safe for the baby. And it's going to be under your supervision as well because, it's very portable and you can bring it anywhere and you can stay close with your toddler or baby as well.
What I want to know is, how on earth did you find out about this product?
Yeah, that's a good question. There are actually various methods that I use, but this one in particular, I actually use various softwares that's available right now online.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
you use external tools to
I do,
discover
yes.
products.
Yes.
Oh, okay. And what stood out to you about this product versus other products that solve a problem?
The fact that it's very unique, and also the fact that it has a high perceived value, and it's something that you can't really find in stores. For this product, you could easily charge upwards of $40 for it, in my opinion. And because of such a high perceived value, and because the item is just still relatively large, and since especially summer is coming up in North America and especially the States, it would be a really applicable item as well.
Would you sell this with influencers or with ads?
Influence would be pretty hard for this, in my opinion, because it's hard to find people who are interested in the beach, who have a baby. It's just a bit too targeted, in my opinion. So influencers might be too hard to find. So I would definitely go with Facebook ads in this instance, and try to make a very compelling video and explain what it does and how it benefits their babies.
Do you usually make video ads?
It's very dependent on the product itself. I don't really use video ads that much. I'm maybe using slideshows occasionally because I do run a different store, like a niche store. But for products that require explanation, like a problem-solving product, it's better to provide a video so that you can explain to them how it works and how it benefits them.
I kind of want to pause for a second because you just said you don't use a whole lot of video ads. And almost every dropshipper I've talked to on this show says that video ads are their bread and butter, that's how they make all their money. So talk to me, how do you get people clicking on, are they just plain photo ads?
Yeah, they're just plain photo ads, but they're like structured in a way that's like a slideshow. So basically it's just a compilation of different photos of the product, or people wearing the product, and you're just going to put them in a slide. But then the key is not really, is to make it very concise. So you would do like a 1 second per photo, just to make it, more streamlined and less of a headache to watch. As you know, because Facebook is not really a platform for people to sell products, but rather is a social platform for people to communicate and socialize. So you really have to get their attention in the first few seconds.
Wait. You do create video ads.
Yeah, a slideshow, kind of.
You're okay.
Yeah,
I see.
I guess.
You're uploading a video, but the video isn't something where you were filming a girl twirling around in a dress.
Exactly.
You just take multiple photos and upload them into a iMovie or a movie making software, and it becomes a video because you drag and drop the images there.
Exactly.
Wow, okay. So you've really found a way to create video ads without creating video ads.
You could say that, I guess.
Yeah. Does this work, you think, only for the women's fashion and accessories niche, or do you think it could work for other niches too?
It could work for other niches as well, but you really have to find products with good pictures, in my opinion, and captivating high definition photos. Now, but the caveat to that is for example, if you're selling a problem-solving product, as I mentioned, it's not preferred because you really have to explain what the product is. So, for example, in this instance, you can't be flashing a few photos of the tent because people don't really know what it is.
True.
And you have to tell people what it does and how it's for babies, because just from looking at photo, I didn't know it's for babies. And on top of that, you have to explain to people how it will help them and how they can use it.
Yeah, and actually, thinking as a woman who buys clothes online, if I see a video ad, it's a little frustrating with clothing because I really want to be able to study that dress and see, does it look like the kind of details and fit that I want? With a video, it's hard, and with a photo, that's easier.
Yeah.
So yeah, I never really thought about that.
Yeah, it really depends on the product. For products that are more straightforward, like clothing, hoodies, if you're doing print on demand, or t-shirts, a product can actually work better than just videos, because you want to keep it simple, and people just want to look at how the product looks like on a model or something like that. Whereas these videos, like problem-solving products, you really need the explanation. It's just no doubt about that.
Yeah, really true. Okay, these insights have been really helpful, but I want to talk with you about brand. I think we can do that with the next product. So let's move on to product number 4.
Let's do it.
Okay, we're looking at product number 4, and I admit this has been on Oberlo best-selling lists for a while. This is a body shaper, right?
Exactly. It's specifically a shaper for your butt, so it's going to make your butt appear bigger and appear more flattering.
Ah, I was wondering how you'd finish that sentence. Well done. So tell me why you think this product would sell.
The main reason is because women are very they care a lot about their appearance and how they look, and so having that product like that, which will help improve their their appearance, would really attract their attention, in my opinion, and for something like that, it's not really a product you can see elsewhere in the stores, so it definitely has that unique aspect to it as well. And
it looks like this product is really meant to lift everything.
Yeah, lift everything, like your curves and your butt as well.
Right. I think one of the selling points of this product is women may want it, but they would be embarrassed to go into a store and buy it.
Yeah.
And so buying something online like this helps women to try it out without having to go to a retail store.
Exactly.
One thing I'm curious about is the supplier, because so from what I've learned, you want a supplier that's been open for a while and has a score above 95% or so. This supplier has been open for 7 years, but it has a score of just under 95%. So I don't know, do you have any insights on assessing suppliers that can help us out here?
Yeah, usually if the supplier has been working for quite some time on Aliexpress, it's usually a good indicator that they've been at it for a while and they have a lot of experience and they are reliable to some extent. Now, in this particular case, it looks like they haven't had too much of a good experience on communication shipping speed. So I would consider avoiding this, and also especially the product being 4.5, even though it's only out of 40 votes. It'd be safer also to check the comments first to see if they're actually bad feedback, because some people just like to give 1-star ratings just because they didn't receive the item or the product is doesn't look good on them. So it's better to do your due diligence, but the product rating itself, usually it's a good indicator, and in this case, we would consider looking at our suppliers as well, since the product rating isn't too good, and the as well as the supplier rating.
New dropshippers sometimes wonder what it's like to work with suppliers who are in China. Can you share any of your experiences working with suppliers?
Yeah, so I've been working with my current supplier for more than half a year now, so it's been quite some time, and we kind of went out of Aliexpress at some point, and we started fulfilling orders through CSV files. If you don't know what that is, it's basically an Excel file with like a list of customer information, and they would just send us back a list of tracking codes, and we can import them back in our store. Now, the good thing about negotiating, communicating with the supplier outside of Aliexpress is that they can really be in your favor, especially after you've been doing some volume for them. So if you have a large volume of orders on a particular product or a few of the products, then you have really the negotiating power to either improve your shipping times or improve like your packaging. You can do custom packaging, custom logos, custom labels, and things like that. And that's really going to help you solidify your brand and charge a higher amount in return.
Ah, that's interesting. So the more experience a dropshipper has, the more negotiating power they have with suppliers.
Exactly, and the more orders that you do, the more power you have for negotiating as well.
Yeah. Okay, with the next product, I want to talk about how to get those orders. So let's move on.
Sounds good.
All right, here we are on our last product. This is a foot scrubber? You tell me.
Yeah, it's a foot massage slipper, it seems like, and it's really going to help you wash your feet very clean and massage your feet at the same time. And I see that's pretty useful after a long day at the beach or after a long walk. It could really help your balance and your comfort as well.
I really like actually that selling point. After a long day at the beach, I feel like if you put your feet in these slippers and put it under the hose,
Yeah.
you'd get rid of all of that sand that never seems to go.
Exactly. It feels like a tool that'd be very efficient on cleaning your feet.
How do you get sales for something like this, though? I mean, this seems really hard to target both on ads and with influencers.
Usually, if you have products like this that are more general, you can actually target more general interests as well. So it doesn't have to be really targeted or like in a particular niche. So, for this product, it doesn't have to be just related to beach and, outdoors. It can actually be related to other things as well, like wellness. So you can really hit different kind of interests that relate to different niches as well, not just confined to a specific category of people. So you can just target more general interests, like I said before, as well as you can tap into different kinds of niches that are, with audience that might be benefiting from this particular product.
So you don't always need to know a niche audience.
Exactly.
You can also go broad and let Facebook figure that out for you.
Exactly.
I see. Okay. How did you find out about this product?
So this product was actually recommended on Aliexpress itself. I'm not sure if you guys have realized, but you can actually search for different products on Aliexpress itself in the dropshipping center. I believe Chris, before the previous merchant, had actually mentioned about this. Aliexpress actually wants you to order more from them. So what they would do sometimes is curate a list of products for you to try out, especially those that are pretty hot and pretty best selling. And so you can actually go through that list, and that was pretty much, I think, how I found this product, which is just going over that list.
Let's do that now, because I know the last time when Chris talked about it, it was a little bit hard for some people to figure out how to find the dropshipping center.
Right.
So diving into the screen here, we'll just start at the Aliexpress homepage so people can follow along. Now you do need to sign up for Aliexpress first, but it's really easy, it's free. And once you have that, you just sign in. And I'll go ahead and sign in now with my reusable straw business. Okay, and now it looks like I'm still at the same old homepage. From here, I believe I go to My Aliexpress.
Yep, that's correct.
And I'll just click that. And now, where do I go from here?
And then you would just
right
hover
here.
on to Dropshipping Center right there.
And this is available for all Aliexpress users, regardless if they've started dropshipping or not.
Yep, that's right.
Okay, great. So I'll click Dropshipping Center, and we can see some hot DS items, dropshipping items. I think those are recommended for me because this looks a lot like the product I was selling.
Exactly.
And then some trusted suppliers rank. Do you know what this is?
So this is just basically more trustworthy and have a high ranking and have been in the business for a while.
So, and now we're in trusted suppliers rank. And do you know what this tab is showing us?
Yeah, so suppliers rank is just basically, they're compiling a list of different suppliers that have a high ranking and that other merchants or other, kind of retailers have had success with. And Aliexpress is just putting all of that into one place for you to kind of find the different products and to find the suppliers that are, already have been in the game for a while and have been reliable historically.
I can see how this would be helpful if you're running a niche store and you want to get product ideas and you just don't want to worry so much about product research. If you start here and then search for your niche, maybe that will help surface the suppliers and then you can shop on their pages. Okay, and then product analysis.
So this is where actually you can do a cross-references, I like to call it. So you can actually go to the product page itself to see whether the product is in demand or not, judging from the number of orders. And then you can actually verify it by pasting that URL on that product page and then pasting it here, just to see how the sales data has been in the past certain number of months or days.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Let's do that. I'm kind of curious
Sure.
to see about this.
Yeah, so you just copy and paste.
Copy and paste
Copy
it.
and then paste it into the product analysis. And you
Do
just
I need
click
to
on
get rid of all this search?
No, you just
stuff?
leave it as is.
Okay.
Yeah, click on search, and then you'll see kind of like a graph that shows the number of orders. So you can see it was peaking in about the start of June.
Yeah,
and
interesting.
Someone was doing about 16 orders a day, or maybe a bunch of people. We won't know. But you can see that it's died down a bit, and then it just went up a bit again. So that means the product it's died a bit, and now it's gaining some traction again.
Very interesting. I didn't know about this.
Yeah.
And then we were talking originally, though, about going to the dropshipping center and discovering products. How do you do that?
Yeah, so actually you can actually do the drop down menu right here.
Ah, okay.
And then, because the reason why you have one product is because it's a recommended, because you have a product essentially that is very similar to that item.
Right.
So you can actually just go to, you can go to all categories if you want, or you can just pick a specific niche that you're in. So for example, you can do beauty and health. So you would click on beauty and health, and then they would actually create a bunch of products related to beauty and health. So what you're looking for specifically is products that are very unusual and something that people can't find in stores. So I know for beauty and health, Sephora is one of the big companies that sells makeup and all that. So you're trying to find a product that you can't really find in Sephora or other stores like that. They are unique. So we can just scroll down, go to page 2, and then as you can see, you can find items like the posture corrector, which is a very hot item that's been selling historically pretty well. The ab simulator, the notorious item. And then you can just keep scrolling until you find something that's unique and worth testing out and trying out.
So that's really what you're looking for as you scroll through a list like this, is what stands out as something that maybe solves a problem that you can't find in stores, and any other criteria?
I would also avoid, in terms of just beauty and wellness, that's something that won't harm, like it's not a threat to someone's well-being. So
for example, avoid things that you would maybe put on your skin or in your
exactly,
mouth or
like a
something.
skincare, like something that will guarantee, like an anti-aging cream. You can't really guarantee it, so and it might be damaging because you don't know the kind of ingredients that's in it, so it might be potentially damaging.
Okay.
So avoid those kind of products.
Okay. And other than that, just keep going down the rabbit hole until you see something you've never seen before.
Exactly.
That sounds exciting.
Yeah.
Okay, Jeff, and before we sign off, what is one piece of advice that you would give new dropshippers?
So I would advise to really take your time to learn dropshipping and learn the ins and outs of dropshipping, what it is, and how to learn learning Facebook advertising as well. It is going to be a huge learning curve for dropshipping, as you're essentially running a business, and there are lots of things to take care of, so it might be overwhelming. So it's better to set your expectations and learn from your mistakes as well.
Really helpful. And if you want to follow up with Jeff, you can actually follow him on YouTube and click the links in the description below. Until next time, learn often, market better,
And sell more.